Hey everyone, it is Eric with Rockin H TV session 58. Tonight we are going to make a DCP twin steer diecast frame. Now I know there's other types of frames out there, some resin things and whatnot, and those are all fine to use, but if you're wanting to stay diecast, this tutorial will give you a little lesson on how to do it. So I will wait for some of you to join the show, and here we are. We have Chris. I think he's our long distance guy out in New Zealand. Eric is here. Welcome, welcome. Scott, and I saw Nathan right at the beginning. Corey is on. Good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome. It's just great to have you after a long break after the holidays. Missed 2 weekends, but I think we'll all forgive each other, right? Hello, Carson and Vaughn. Good to see you guys. Yeah, good to see you. All right. So, I was at my boot camp class. That's why we're starting a little late. Dylan is here. Hi, Dylan. Scott, good evening. Ward is here. Welcome. I'm in a boot camp at the junior college. And then since we had Christmas break, I found a yoga boot camp class, which is kind of an oxymoron. That doesn't make any sense. But that gal, she runs the wheels off me. My gosh. And we spend quite a bit of time stretching, and man, I'm a pile of goo now. Anyways, so that's why we're starting a little late tonight. We'll get back to our regular schedule next week. So, Donnie is here. Good to see you, Donnie. Hello to everyone that I missed a few seconds ago. Good to see you. Kent made it. Well done. Hi, Kent. How are you? All right. So we got a couple minutes here. David is here. Good to see you, David. Always a good contributor to the lab, with many of you others as well. Whoops. Sorry, just getting the cord out of the road. Guess it's not going to work. Never mind. Better be hard on boots. Sorry, this thing is in my way. So, it's hard to see all the comments there. But that's then so I can, anyways, nerdy stuff. So, before we get going, did anyone get something good for Christmas? Eric and yoga pants, yeah, funny, Nathan. Luckily, it's all guys. I mean, that could be good or bad depending on your point of view, but in this case, it's good it's all guys. So, one thing I got for Christmas that's actually in here, I'm sitting on it. I got a pair of chairs. So now, if one of you guys wants to come in and hang out on a weekend, why, you have a place to sit. Hi, Brent. Brent there, the 3D printing guy. Well done. Good to see you, Brent. So actually, Mark Farms came out and test drove some of these chairs on Saturday. He came out and we did a lot of work, catching him up and getting him going. That was pretty fun. So, if you're in the neck of the woods, in my neck of the woods, make sure you give me a shout so we can hang out. Kevin is here. Good to see you, Kevin. Is that the instant set? Ooh, wow, we're about out. Sorry. My cohort in here, my son's in here doing one of his first customs, and ran me out of Instasets, so I had to load up before we get going.
Lots of glue.
Ben is just using a dining room chair. Yeah. I think they got these at Walmart. They're like 20 bucks. All right. And then somebody had mentioned earlier in the lab about using a gold label style of this. I think I'm going to buy some and give it a go. That might be my goodie I give away during the model building summit. I usually buy some takeaway things and guys just get some goodies and take them home. That might be a good one to go find. Alan is here. Okay, we got a nice crowd and it is 8:45, so we're going to get going because we got a lot to do. Okay, everyone, it is Eric with Rockin H TV, session 58. Tonight we're going to take two DCP Kenworth frames. We're going to chop them up and put them back together to make the all-desired twin steer. One of those things that is a bit elusive because you see them, but they're not real common and they're cool. So, that is what we're going to do tonight. Let me tell you where we're at. These are DCP K100 Kenworth frames. I have 2 of these. I bought these from Gabe Fleener on eBay. I forget. I was thinking they were $15 or maybe $18 a piece. They're complete frames less the tanks. They didn't come with tanks. I already put Canada Coda floats on this one, and for this particular truck the reason for this lesson is I'm building one anyway, and so I thought I'd just share with you how it's done. But on the real truck that I'm replicating, it has floats like this on the front, and then the second steering axle just has regular wheels on it. So that's the reason for the difference on this. And the reason I put those on right away is they almost look just a teensy bit bigger in diameter, but what I wanted to do is make sure that, what do you need? I wanted to make sure that when I go to put this thing together that it's all level and the height's perfect and all gorgeous and stuff like that. So that is the reason for putting the floats on it straight away. Okay, so what we're going to do then, here's how it's going to roll. We're going to leave this frame basically intact. Okay, so this one's really not going to change. We're going to modify the front just a teensy bit, not much. And then we're going to come back, and this is the one that's going to get the surgery. And we're going to put this one in front of this one. So it's going to do something like that, and that's how we're going to make this roll. Now, what complicates this just a wee bit, is this is the cab that's going on it. This is Canada Coda's K200. It has been modified heavily because the real one is flared out. Well, anyways, it's flared out. You'll have to go to a Shapeways store. Maybe he'll post a link in here, and you can see what the real one looks like. But I've had to modify this quite a bit because even though this is a K200 with the modern looking sleeper and more rounded on different parts, it actually has a K100 grill put in it. So that's the big difference. And then as soon as I get that done, then there's I'm going to take some other K100 parts off of the DCP, put those on here. Or excuse me, first I got to do a bunch of decal work and then put the aftermarket parts, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What we're here to do is this. So let's get going on that. Okay, let me get a shot of water here because I'm kind of parched after my big workout. I'm telling you, I was telling my son a few minutes ago, I said, I don't think it's supposed to sound like rain when you're doing a plank position over your mat. My gosh. Anyway. Man, she just runs the wheels off me. She just sweat like nobody's business. All right. So what we're going to do first, we're going to take these off. These little stubs off. We're going to take those off. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take this to the disc sander and just hit that and level it out. Just flatten it out. That's all I'm going to do there. Then we're going to come in and I'm going to chop this off long, and then I'm going to kind of dry fit it to the frame. You're going to see how all this happens. Then I'll probably end up sanding some of this down to make it fit better, because on the real truck, I mean, it's like this, basically. This is what makes this such a puzzle, huh? You got to do all this monkey business. This rear axle kind of sits like so, kind of right. Okay, yeah, that looks dumb. You can't hardly see, but you get the idea. You'll understand when we get into this. Okay, so what we're going to do is, well, let's just do this. I don't need to turn the camera to do this little bit. Let's just take this, and then we're just going to bust these off. Okay, see how I did that? Yeah, not real glamorous, but hey, it's going to be covered up. Who cares, right? Good. Okay, well, those are gone. Easy enough. Now we'll go to the bandsaw and the sander. I'm going to give you just a little bit of a turn here. You're not going to be able to see it real well, but at least you'll have a view of those machines. Okay. So again, you're not going to be able to see it real well, but nevertheless, here we go. again, you do not need tools. You do not need these power tools to make this work, okay? Power tools just make it fast. That's all the power tools do. They just make it fast. You can actually accomplish everything you're going to see tonight with this and this. These two tools are all you need to make this happen. This is just slower, that's all. That's the difference. So you don't need power tools. Okay. Alright, so now, this is kind of what we're going for here, more or less, but we got a ways to go, don't we? Easy money, we'll get it, not a worry. Okay, but that's kind of what we're doing here. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn you around, and we'll get this kind of figured out here. Here we go, now you get a look at my hand, have fun. Okay, so this we'll save for something else. Surely we can figure out something to do with that, right? So this is kind of what we got cooking right here. Okay, and one thing you'll notice that's fairly obvious is I got to figure out a way to put these two different sets of tires in line, because on the real one they're in line. They're not dumb looking like they are here. And I'm probably going to have to cut those. I'm probably going to have to break those off too, just to get them out of the way. So as you can see, I'm going to have to go quite a bit more out of my way to make this work. And for the life of me, I did not bring a picture. Do I have a picture of that in here? Now, and there's my boy. He's considerate. He went outside to paint. How nice. So I need to go ahead and shorten this up quite a bit. So I'll be right back. Smoke them if you got them. Okay, pause for the cause. And here we go, looking good there. Oh, that is money. I'm digging that. Hey, thanks for the love there, appreciate that. Okay. And regrettably, I do not have a photo of this thing. Gosh darn it. Could have swore I had a picture of this. So I gotta go with my customer provided picture here. Hey Matt, go to my page quick. Go to Rockin H Farm Toys. Okay, I just want to get a photo of this. I failed to print off a photo so I knew what the distance is. Yeah, go to Facebook, Rockin H Farm Toys. And I'm having my son actually get me a photo of this thing so I know what the distance is. And actually, and I think while we're waiting here, we're going to bust these off. I want to see this one right here. Nope, nope, that one. Yeah, bring that up. Okay. There we go. Now we know what to do. Thanks. That's perfect. And all these fenders are actually, I bought those, man, more gratuitous plugs for some of our builders in this hobby. The fenders are coming from the model mechanic. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm dry fitting this just enough here so I can figure out how far to put that axle back. And I think, well, that pivot point's right behind the cab. I think I'm going to shorten it up just a skosh. Just a little bit. I'm going to take a little more off with the sander. I'm probably going to shave, I don't know, maybe a millimeter or a 1/16, somewhere in that neighborhood. Not that, oh, whoop, don't go anywhere. Okay. Okay. And isn't it wonderful? I haven't even screwed up the steering yet as hard as I've been using this. Somebody didn't sand that very swell. You can see, look at how those tires stick out the side of that cab. Gosh, I gotta work on that. Doggone it, come here you. Oh, look at that, Matt's getting Snapchat notifications. Oh, you monkey. So this is the part of the modeling for me that just, it's not real pretty, but you know, you get the job done, don't you? Okay. I'm kind of thinking, I wish I could hold this, well maybe, I'm going to try holding this up for you so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so there it is. That's kind of what it is. So you can look from my photo on the phone and then how I've got this kind of dry fit together. This is not a glamorous dry fit, but it's kind of working. So you can kind of see that the center of that wheel is right behind the cab, and as I'm holding this up here, I kind of own that. I'm digging it. Okay, I'm with it. Yeah, I'm digging that a lot. So we're going to go with it. And this is needing more paint, by the way. That's why I'm not being very kind to it. I just need to get more paint on it. Okay, so everything you've seen, remember, as I told you, you could accomplish everything with this and this. It would just take longer. Okay, so instead of going to the sander and buzzing that down right away, you could sit here, you know, you're not going to do this fast, but hey, if you're sitting in front of the TV, put the bathroom trash can underneath this, you could be filing away while you're watching football. Okay? There's no harm in that. Or if you have a Dremel, again, accomplish the same thing. Okay. All right, so we'll get that out of the road. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to use our handy dandy glue and a smidgen of Instaset. And I think one thing else I'm going to do here, I'm going to, just a second before I get too carried away. Okay, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to, and the reason I'm getting rid of this extra plastic or whatever that was, glue, and you'll see why I'm doing this here in a bit. Because this is going to be kind of a precarious joint, and we want to make sure that that gum thing never falls apart. Okay. Now, I'm not using this as my permanent solution. Oh, thanks for the score. All right, 13-0, good deal. Oh, somebody Oh, we have a little hole in there, just enough to let glue out. This is not the final solution. This is just a temporary fix until we can go on to the next, till we can put it together in a more permanent fashion. But this is what I like to do in this particular situation, is because then you have just enough wiggle room here. You can kind of get everything square and gorgeous, and then kind of make this a temporary joint. Okay, we're just gluing this slightly. I'm getting down on at eye level so I can make sure it's level. And it is. We like that. Then I'm going to put a splash of Instaset over this thing. Okay, then we'll mix up a little bit of this action with, whoops, wrong one, this action, and then we'll glob some in here. Well, I say glob, that's not very nice. We'll put some in there. You'll notice we still have 2 transmissions. If we were going for absolute perfection, we can actually take this whole thing apart here, the front end on the second steering axle, and we could take this transmission out. You'll see here that it's those 2 yellow pins. That's holding that transmission in. You can actually take that out if you were going for absolute perfection. And I think Dustin just mentioned you could come in here with styrene strips and put some styrene strips in here or brass, glue them together, and have you a very nice and very strong joint for the long haul. That is a great idea. Well, and what's also nice about that then is you could take that styrene and then you could take red paint, magic marker, and color it in so it doesn't look, so it looks nice. And then also too, when you come in here to mount your cab on there, whatever cab you'd choose, you'd have a nice flat surface to park your cab on, and then glue that to. So that's a great idea, Dustin. Actually, that's not a bad idea, frankly. Maybe that's what we'll do instead. What the heck, huh? Where'd my bag of plastic go? Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Here's a bunch of leftover styrene that I've got from another thing that I bought from DJ Harrison, and we're just gonna find something that fits. Surely I got one that's right. Yep, there it is. Okay, we'll put this back in its bag so we don't lose it. So, now what we'll do is we'll just come in here and look at that. Let's park that monkey John thing in there and off we go. That does not look quite perfect somehow. Alright, I guess we're alright. Okay. Now you can come in and cut it with a fine tooth something, or you can just make an unglamorous cut because the only person that's going to see it is you. And then guess what? We're going to have us a nice, beautiful surface to stick that. And this is actually going to be an end dump truck, so I'm going to end up cutting a lot of this out too, so I can make a grain bed out of it, or put a hoist and whatnot in there. Okay. There we go. All right. Well, let's just do that. A little bit of this action. Can you go back to that image, Matt? Mm-hmm. Oh man, my glue bottle must be out. Who's been using all my glue? I'm gonna have to charge rent on this place for people using all my glue. So yeah, I've got the sides for that bed actually made. I need to just put them on the floor and get that thing painted so we can move this thing off to Australia. Okay. So we're just going to let that sit in there nice and cozy. And for the fun of it, going to just stick a little bit of Insta-Set in there. Now we can go ahead and dry fit this without having to monkey around. And look at what we're coming up with. So this is how this is going to ultimately come together. Just like that. And that's going to be our twin steer. Ta-da! You could do this with virtually any set of frames you want. It's entirely up to you. I did this. I took 2 International ProStar frames, did this exact same process on that, and then put a I actually chopped up a 9100 and stuck it on top of that and made a twin steer out of a Liberty Classics 9100 and 2 International ProStar frames, because I bought them just super duper cheap and it was crazy cool. So, you know, it works with dang near anything, guys. So hopefully, and I haven't done the measuring yet, the bed is 17 feet long, because that's the way they roll in Australia. Australia. Let me see if I have an MA18 frame. I do. Okay. So how this is going to work is this will end up going on. Actually, I'm going to set that back just a little bit because you'll notice we have quite a gap there. So I'm going to end up having to take a 1/2 inch out of the frame anyway, but we've got a really nice start on this cab. So this is going to be pretty freaking cool when it's done. And I've got the artwork done, so all I have to do is print decals, or size them and print decals, and we're off and running. Okay. Okay, guys, what kind of questions can I answer you? Answer for you. Did I say that? Answer you? That was kind of a down and dirty, just a quick lesson. But I kind of wanted to show that because I know that this particular style, this twin steer, seems to be pretty, you know, if you're doing heavy hauls, or if you're doing heavy hauls, or you're doing oil field type stuff, the twin steer is a really cool truck to have. Yes, Ward, the frame will need shortened up quite a bit. I got to take a 1/2 inch out of the frame to make it all work. So to put this bed on it, because like I said, this thing is going to get a 17-foot bed on it. Let me show you the sides quick. So here are the sides for that truck. So you'll see these are scaled down to 17 foot. So just holding all this up here, you can see how much frame's got to come out of there. So, and then, gosh, I don't even know if that's tall enough. Well, it will be, because I got to put a frame in it. And, yeah, blah, blah, blah. It'll all be good. And if it's not, then I'll make another one, right? Okay, there much difference between W900 and T800 frames, as I believe there is, but I think you can swap some sleepers around. Okay, I think if I was shipping the item, I would have JB welded the frame, then add the styrene strip to hide the. Oh well, that's a clever idea, Donnie. Good job. Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, I'm really not too concerned about shipping this, because I'm going to pack this thing like it's going from here to Australia. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna pack it really well. I got a special way of doing it, and then I've got 2 brass trailers going along with it, which are actually coming along nicely too. Okay, guys, in the last bit of this, what can I answer for you that maybe you needed a little clarity on or didn't understand? We did have one question by, I think it's Kevin, ask. he was asking if there's much difference between, Kevin was asking the difference between W900 and T800 frames. If one of you could answer that, that would be cool for him if you're an expert on it. I've worked on them, but for the life of me, I don't even recall. I don't know why. I think they're different, quite a bit different actually. I don't remember. So I'm not going to say. I don't know. But I've worked with both and they're fun to work on. I can tell you that. Okay, so at this moment, I'm about $200 in on parts alone with the artwork and the frames and this cat. Well, actually, Kit sent me a couple of them. What else? And then I bought two East End trailers for those frames. And then brass, and then I paid a guy to break the brass to make the beds and blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, I'm just a sneeze over $200. And I don't think I'm going to need anything more to get this done. But as you can tell, I got some work to do on these front steers. Got to bring them in quite a ways, which won't be a big deal. That'll be easy enough to do. And then put them back on. Yeah, that's where I'm at on that deal. So as it gets closer, I'll probably do another live video just to show you how I mount the bed on it and then get this cab on there too, because that's going to be quite a project. So I think with that, guys, if you don't have any other parting shots, I will wish you a happy new year, because we're now in January, and I'll look forward to seeing you next year. Oh, and before we go, and the room empties out here, I want to give a shout out to Clint Thomerson of Tennessee Farm Toys. That guy's doing some, I don't participate in his group very much because, you know, like most of you, I'm involved in like 9,000 groups that I either chose or was just put in. And so I don't participate much, but he's doing some live videos and doing some demonstrations and just kind of showing off what he does. And I think that rocks, and it's awesome. And keep up the good work. Clint, keep it up. So whether or not he wants me to plug him, he doesn't have a choice because I'm just doing it. I think it's cool, and the rest of you should do some live videos too. Yeah, so shout out to Clint at Tennessee Farm Toys. And Dustin Montgomery asked me if the cab is going to tilt. No, it's not, because I do not need a drinking problem. I'm sure that would develop if I tried to make that cab tilt. So we're going to leave that. I'm not going the extra mile on that. I'll let you do it. How's that? All right. So with that, guys, it is 9:14. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for watching as we kick off the new year and a new year of Rockin H TV. And we will see you next time. Good night.